Ah, yes. Nothing says meditation practice like a whole bunch of theory. And that's what we're going to do a little bit here. We're going to build a scaffolding so we can kind of find our way around the structure, which is our consciousness, our psyche, and we'll introduce some concepts. So I wanted to talk about being and this perfect present moment that we're in, because every present moment is inherently perfect, and there is only one present moment, yet we have a past and we have a future. So there's a paradox to this. One of my other favorite Zen masters, Shunryu Suzuki, once said, each of you is perfect the way you are, and you can use a little improvement. So here's him laying it all out. We're good right now, but we also want to get somewhere. We're inherently good in our present moment, but there are things we want to learn. There are things we want to change in our lives. There's things we want to, accumulate. Let's be honest. There's certain places we need to go. There's there's stuff, right? There's now, and then there's also a future now we want to move into. So this is a paradox. We're being, but we're also doing at the same time. And it's not something to be solved. I mean, good luck with that. No one's ever solved it. I dare you. No one's ever solved it. Human beings, and we're human doings. So you can sit and feel very present on your cushion, however it is, what you do your meditation, but you've also got to put your laundry away. You've also got to wash the dishes. This is just the yin and yang of it. These things exist at the same time. And it's important to look at that as we're moving into a larger idea of consciousness and our being and how time works. Spirituality has a little bit of a materialism to it. There's definitely an unhealthy way of pretending that you've accumulated all this power and you're better than other people. Obviously, that's not what we want. But there is a certain practice of accumulating and generating a spiritual energy. There is an energy that goes on. It's called chi or ki. In Zen, it's called ki. I've also heard concentration power being called Jiriki in Zen. I haven't looked that up, so don't totally quote me on that. But in Chinese traditional medicine, Qi, prana in Hindu cultures, in shamanism, I've heard it described as power. So that's going to happen as we move along our meditation path. We're going to gain more and more of this, and that's a good thing. We're not just being Scrooge McDuck, but spiritual. There is a natural sort of inflowing of the spiritual energy, and that's part of the process. What this does is it gets us to this part where you could think of it as like a cup. So you got this cup, you got the Ace of Cups here, and it holds the cup is the being, right? The container is the being, and it holds wisdom. So you can only have as much wisdom as you have room in your cup. So as our being grows through the spiritual power, through the work that we do, we can hold more wisdom. We level up. It's like XP, experience points in a video game. For all my fellow nerds out there, you gain XP, experience points doing things, and then you level up, and you can hold more power or more health or more mana. It's kind of like that. This is what happens as we naturally move along a meditation path. Our being expands, and we're able to hold more of life, hold more presence, hold more authenticity, many, many different things. One of the symbols for this is the cross. And take any cross. It doesn't have to be a Christian cross or what have you. You don't have to believe in God for any of this, really. But take the cross as a symbol. It's a fascinating symbol because the horizontal has got the Newtonian line of past to future. I don't know. Is this going to be reversed? Okay. It doesn't matter. That's the horizontal, that's time. And then the vertical is the present moment. And becoming present, you have the both at the same time. You have the plenitude, you have the pearl of great price, you have the peace that passeth all understanding. You have an experience of being one with creation, with divinity, if you want to put it that way. So there's a deeper symbol to a cross. Next time maybe you pass a church, you'll see it, and that might help you remember where you're at. It's really interesting to understand how much of the stuff is woven in very, so-called prosaic things. So famous Joe Strummer lookalike Albert Camus once said, "Real generosity to the future consists in giving all to the present." I think it's a beautiful way to put all of this. Think about the world, right? This is September 20th, 2025, as I record this, and there's some pretty horrible things going on in the world. Chances are, no matter when you watch this, there will be some pretty horrible things going on in the world. And I know me and most of my fellow humans, we want more fairness. We want less innocent people to die. We want less people to starve. We want less people to be homeless. We want social change. And that's very important that we act on where we can to try and help this, to try and speak up about this. But there's also our duty to our present moment that is just as powerful. Paradoxically, one of the best things we can do is not do something, but just sit there, to sit and to grow our being, to grow our capacity. That is real work. That is the great work, as they call it. It's the way in life. And we really have no idea how much that might help the next situation where we have to be a little bit bigger. We have to be a little bit more compassionate, even in small ways of passing someone who's panhandling in the street, and you have that moment of, I only have this money or that, I can't give, we all go through, or most of us go through these sort of permutations. But at that moment, if you can remember yourself, you can remember that you have it to give, and you can give as a beautiful gesture that is also giving to yourself in your greater humanity. It's just a small example, but the way we work on our being is the way we work on our energetic signature in the world, in how we affect our surrounding world. And it is just as important as going out and manipulating things in the 3D. Ideally, we have both of this. We have the being and the doing at the same time. So that's where it's not that the paradox gets solved, that's where the paradox gets embraced, right? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to meditate. Talk is cheap. Let's put our money where our mouth is. I'm going to give you a very small presence tool that I read in Pema Chodron's, I think it was one of her books. But anyways, it's just the 3 conscious breaths. That's it. It's simple as that. And this is portable. You can do this anywhere. In fact, I highly suggest you experiment with it in times of great identification and annoyance. Maybe not great. You might already be down the road, but in moments when you're not feeling at home, you can do this and you can come back to it. So what we're going to do, and we're going to do this together, we're going to do 3 conscious breaths. It's as simple as that. All right? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's being. That's meditation. You just did it. It really doesn't have to be more complicated than that. It's the easiest thing in the world once you start to get your feel for it. The key is just remembering. And remembering is more difficult because, well, I'm going to get into that in other videos. The force is around us, let's say. Not the force. The force is good. May the force be with you. But may the three conscious breaths be with you. It's a beautiful little practice that's a gateway to our being. We're doing it, yet we're also being it at the same time. And with that, the paradox makes us more human. So thanks for listening to this little theory talk. There's going to be a couple more, but there's going to be more practice coming up. You got this.